A blind goat sat begging in the subway station. Miss Pig, passing by, kicked over his money jar. Seeing the goat couldn't see, she picked up the scattered money and stuffed it into her own pocket. Mr. Deer, waiting for the train nearby, sighed and closed his eyes in frustration. He chose to turn a blind eye. After all, better to stay out of trouble. Soon, they all boarded the train together. The subway car was already packed with all kinds of animals, each with their own hidden agendas. That handsome mouse looked prim and proper, but he'd long had his eye on the monkey's wallet next to him. He waited for the right moment and slowly reached for it. This scene was just noticed by Miss Pig across the way, but she said nothing. She figured she could get a cut from the mouse later. Plagued by a guilty conscience, the mouse feared getting caught. He stood up and walked to another car. Sitting there was a wolf couple. Mr. Wolf stared at the glamorous mouse, and the two exchanged a knowing look. Mrs. Wolf sensed something was off and turned to glance at the mouse, who quickly hung his head in guilt. Miss Pig sat next to the chimpanzee, gobbling down pig feed. Suddenly, she choked on her food, and her violent coughing woke the sleeping chimpanzee. Enraged, the chimpanzee shoved Miss Pig to the ground, then closed his eyes and went back to sleep. Seeing this, Mr. Deer immediately opened his first aid kit and administered help to Miss Pig. Luckily, his timely intervention saved her life. But instead of thanking him, Miss Pig pushed Mr. Deer away roughly. The monkey saw this and started mocking Mr. Deer for butting in, gesturing for the chimpanzee across the way to join in the teasing. But the chimpanzee shot him a glare, and the monkey quickly shut his mouth in fear. Just then, the subway arrived at the station. A collapse had occurred outside, and the subway was the only safe place. Animals scrambled to board, but the chimpanzee blocked the door, frantically slamming the emergency door close button. Mr. Deer tried to stop him, but the chimpanzee grabbed his antlers. As they struggled, a poisonous snake slithered onto the train. Instead of showing gratitude, the snake hit on Miss Deer nearby. Mr. Pig tried to intervene, but the snake spat venom all over his face. The venom also splattered onto Mr. Wolf beside him, who didn't hesitate to pounce and start beating the snake. Chaos instantly erupted on the subway. The mouse tried to seize the opportunity to steal Miss Pig's wallet. A vulture had been watching silently, waiting for this moment all along. After the commotion, the vulture began feasting on the spoils of the fight. With Miss Deer's help, Mr. Deer regained consciousness. By then, the train had reached the next station. Outside, everything was in ruins, an apocalyptic scene. Suddenly, the cry of a baby echoed. Mr. Deer tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. The chimpanzee looked at the scene, then silently walked over and wrenched the door open. Just as a boulder above the baby was about to fall, Mr. Deer hurried over, picked up the baby, and handed it to Miss Deer. At that moment, the subway doors were about to close. The chimpanzee gestured for Mr. Deer to get on, but seeing the dying survivors outside, Mr. Deer chose to stay behind. As the train pulled away, another collapse occurred above. The next morning, the sun rose as usual, but the area had long since turned into a pile of rubble.